Hey, what's up? Hello, my name is Emma, and today I'm doing a Get Ready With Me Q&A. I did one of these like a long time ago, so if you want to check out the first one, I will leave it linked below, but I've been getting a lot of requests recently to do more makeup videos, and I just wanted to do another Q&A because I don't do them very frequently, so I asked you guys for some questions on Twitter, and I'm going to be answering them while doing my makeup for today. So I already put on my primer, which is the NYX Born to Glow primer. I just use it because it's inexpensive. And for my foundation, I use every day the Urban Decay All Nighter Liquid Foundation. Jade asks, what advice would you give to someone who has trouble finishing a book or it takes long to read a book because they get unfocused? I know that I personally tend to get a little less focused while reading if I don't have stuff going on in the background behind me, which is very weird, I know. But I feel like I just need like something to listen to in the background that keeps me grounded. So I don't like to listen to music that I know really well, and I don't like to watch TV shows that I've watched a million times because I get like so used to it. You know, if there's lyrics, like I'm gonna want to sing them, and if there's a TV show that I love, I'm gonna want to watch it. So I'll typically leave on like Netflix shows that like I, don't really watch that often and can just put on in the background that I don't care to pay attention to, or else I listen to music that doesn't have lyrics so I can't get distracted. And I find that helps me personally. For you, it might be in an environment thing where you like need to read, like in your bed with no distractions, no music, no anything. Maybe if you had like a pencil or something to follow along like on the lines with, that might be more helpful. But I definitely think staying focused while reading is something that's different for everyone. Emma asks, did you read the Throne of Glass series? If you have, did you like it? I have a very interesting experience with the Throne of Glass series that I don't have with any other book series. I read the first 3 books in 2014, and I really loved book 1. I didn't like book 2 as much because I didn't like the main couple in that book, and 18-year-old Emma, or 17-year-old Emma, was a petty reader. And I could not remember anything from Heir of Fire. I just wasn't engaged with it. And then I think it was 2016, I gave it another chance. I read the first 3 books. I had every intention of catching up with this series, and I couldn't get through it. I read Heir of Fire. I forgot everything as I read again, and I couldn't get through it. Now I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I actually liked Crown of Midnight way more the second time, which was, something good came out of that reread. But again, I couldn't focus on Heir of Fire. I just think it's too long for me, and I don't care about a lot of the plot points, and so I haven't finished since then. And I don't know if I ever will, because I'm just like, I gave this book series 2 shots already. How many more can I really give it? I would love to finish it because I love Sarah J. Maas as a person, and I really like the ACOTAR series, but Throne of Glass, just as of now, it's not for me, and I don't know when I'm gonna finish it. Charlie asks, how long does it typically take to film a video and then to edit it? Love you. Love you too, Charlie. Filming videos, it depends on the type of video that I'm filming. Like hauls and wrap-ups and stuff, that can take me upwards of 40 to 50 minutes, sometimes even an hour, depending on how long it's supposed to be with the amount of books I have to talk about. An unboxing will typically take me anywhere in between like 15 and 20 minutes. A tag could take me 30 minutes. It really depends. And then reviews, of course, they usually take me like an hour to film. Like my Deathly Hallows review, that was an hour and 30 minutes of raw footage. And editing is definitely relative to the amount of raw footage I have. It's going to take me way less time to edit a 20-minute video than it is an hour-long video. Typically I do edit very fast. I think, in discussion with the community, I edit a lot faster than many other booktubers, which could be because I've been editing videos since I was 13. A 20-minute video could take me about 20 minutes to edit. An hour-long video might take me a little bit less than an hour to edit. I've just gotten really good at the craft of editing videos that it doesn't take me as long as some other people who might spend like 2 hours editing 30 minutes of footage. For translucent powder, I use the Kat Von D Lock-It setting powder, but I have the mini travel version because your girl is broke and doesn't want to spend $30 on powder. Love Stas, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, asks if I'm interested in poetry. And I am not. I don't know why. I just never have liked poetry. I don't ever see myself getting into it in the future. For some reason, it just doesn't click with me. Maybe I'm just like not smart enough to like poetry or something. You could put the most profound piece of poetry in front of me and I would be like, these are just words, these are just sentences. I don't get any emotion out of reading any poetry. The only type of poetry I really like is Edgar Allan Poe, and even that is like a very small number of works because I much prefer his fiction. I would say I do enjoy watching poetry performances. Like I think spoken word is considered poetry. Like I really like watching spoken word, and every once in a while there will be like a viral like poetry video that goes around on Facebook, and I'll watch and I'll really enjoy it, but I have no interest in reading it, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Like I don't need you guys to like recommend like all of these amazing works of poetry to me because I won't read them. I just don't have an interest. The same way that some people don't want to learn to knit, I just don't want to read poetry. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Amber asks, how long did you work at Chipotle for? What was your position? What is your typical order? And do you like the queso? That's the real question. I'm now using the Anastasia Brow Wiz to do my brows, and if you watch my Instagram lives, you know we're gonna be here for a while. I worked at Chipotle for about 9 months, and this was very quickly after I tried Chipotle for the very first time. They were opening one like right in my town, like right by where I lived, and I was like, free Chipotle, might as well work there. So I got a job there. I worked there for about 9 months. This was right before I went to VidCon, and I had also gotten a third job. I was working 3 jobs when I was working at Chipotle, and I was about to go away for VidCon, and I was like, you know what, like I might as well just quit before I go to VidCon, that way I don't have to worry about getting covered or anything. And you know, as a student working 3 jobs, that's really tough. So I left just because I just wanted more free time to myself. So you know, no bad things to say about working at Chipotle. It's the same as working as any other fast food place. I was mostly a cashier, which I actually really enjoyed because it was super easy. And I was never a big like food prep person. For whatever reason, that just wasn't what I was put on as. But I loved peeling onions. I have no idea why, but anytime somebody was peeling onions, if I was on the line, I would like beg my manager to let me peel the onions. I found it very therapeutic for some reason. It was like, I was so centered on these stupid damn onions, but I loved it so much. And if there's one thing I miss about Chipotle, it's literally the fact that I got to peel onions all the time. My typical order, I pretty much get the same thing in any form, whether it be a burrito, a bowl, tacos, or quesadilla. I get white rice with chicken, no beans. I get sour cream, cheese, lettuce, and then I have them pour one of the salad dressings on top. If you haven't tried the Chipotle salad dressing, you are missing out. It is the best addition to literally every order, and I would drink it. Maybe I wouldn't drink it, but I would eat a lot of it at one time, okay? And do I like the queso? I've only tried it once, and that was because I didn't even know they had it, and I was like, I might as well give it a shot. I like it. You can definitely tell it's made from like the real Chipotle cheese. But it's not my favorite thing. Like I'd rather just get another side of salad dressing and sour cream to dip my chips into rather than paying extra money, but it's good. Like I would eat it again if somebody like brought me chips and queso. I would not complain. And additionally, I am like a serious Chipotle over Moe's fan, but I will say Moe's queso is better. Like they do have that on Chipotle. Liz asks, what's my favorite thing about pole? I was so hoping people would ask me pole dancing questions because it's literally all I want to talk about. My favorite thing about pole is definitely the sense of accomplishment and empowerment that comes from it. Even if I don't nail a new move that we're working on that day, I still feel like I'm a little bit closer every class, and I can feel myself getting stronger and starting to master some of the skills, and that itself is just such a self-esteem booster. My studio is also so unbelievably supportive. Like seriously, I nailed a move the other day, if you didn't see it in my Bibliothon vlogs, and the studio owner texted me. It was like, I can't believe you didn't tell me. I had to find out from the other girls. I'm so proud of you. I can't wait to see where you go. And that's just like the attitude of everyone there. They're so encouraging and supportive and wonderful, and I couldn't have picked a better studio to go to. Also, it's just fun and looks cool, and I love it, and I don't ever want to stop. Love Stas is back, and he asks, what was your favorite book that you've read so far in 2018? I think my favorite like new to me book has to be Renegades, though. I love that book so much. I listened to the audiobook and I ended up finishing it in like just 2 days because I could not stop. Seriously, if you have not read Renegades yet, it's so good. It's all about superheroes, but I feel like it's not like very typical superheroes, and there's a lot of questions about morality, and it's not super focused on romance. It's very diverse. It's so freaking good, guys. Love Stas is back again, and I still don't know if it's Stas or Stace. I'm very, very sorry, but the question is favorite song lyric. Lil Peep is the only thing that matters to me. So do you prefer marathoning a book series or would you rather read other books in between? Now, this is interesting to me because I used to be a huge book marathoner. Like when I first got into reading, I would request all of the books in a series from the library and then I would buy the entire box set when I wanted to read a series because I used to just love being engaged in one world and continuing all the way through with it. You know, especially when I first got into BookTube and I had missed out on all of these amazing YA series for so many years. I loved being able to just throw myself into one story and to really be engaged with just those characters in that world. But over the years, I feel like I've mellowed out a bit from that and I definitely do switch around more often. I think part of it might be the fact that I have just been involved in the reading community for so long and I've learned about so many books that I'm like, do I want to restrict myself to just one story for an extended period of time? But I do still love marathoning book series. You know, like I wish I could just like reread the Mortal Instrument series in one go, but there's so many other books out there that I want to indulge in. So I don't know if it's necessarily that I don't prefer to marathon books anymore. I think I've just gotten a little bit more accepting of the fact that I don't have to and I can read books in between. NIA says, say 3 things you like about the Shadowhunter TV show. I don't hate Shadowhunters and I feel like that's a big misconception. People think like because of the way I review it, like I'm just bashing on Shadowhunters. I'm not. I wouldn't watch it all the time when it's on if I didn't actually enjoy it. Now I'm going to contour with the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. All right, one thing I like about the Shadowhunters TV show. I do genuinely like the cast. I know some of them haven't done like the best things since starting this part of their career, but nonetheless, I really like their dedication to the show, and although I disagree with the way that a lot of the producers have made them appear as characters, I think for the most part, a lot of them do a really good job, and I have actually met Alberto Resende, who plays Simon, in person. Lovely, lovely human being, nicest guy in the world, and I'm really happy I got the opportunity to meet him. So I do really like the cast, even though, you know, I do have biases towards the City Bones movie cast because I watched that before I even read the books. I still think, you know, for the most part, the cast is pretty well put together. Second thing is, here we are. It suddenly got a little bit harder. I'm kidding. I do like how they adapt certain things. I have my issues with the way that they adapt stuff from the books, obviously, but there have absolutely been moments that I can't recall at the moment that I have talked about in my reviews that I've really, really enjoyed. I really like the relationship that they have between Alec and Magnus because they are not the main characters of the Mortal Instruments series, and I feel like they've got a lot of development. So there are things that I do really enjoy in regard to like how they adapt certain things from the books. My third thing I like about Shadowhunters, this would be so much easier if I was like watching the show as it's on right now. Is it like shitty of me to say like my other favorite thing about Shadowhunters is that they keep getting people to buy Cassie Clare's books? Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna say my third favorite thing about Shadowhunters is that it is an adaptation of Cassie's books and it's bringing her more success. I'm gonna use this Tarte blush in the shade Paaarty with 3 A's. Charlie asks, how did you get into pole? I have been interested in pole dancing for a really long time. My sister and I, when I was back in high school, we used to always talk about how like we wanted to look into taking a class because they aren't all that expensive and they seem to be really good for fitness and whatnot. But I think what really struck my love of it is this Facebook video came around of this girl called Soarin' High. And it was of her routine to a song called Brain by Banks. And I just fell in love. Like, it was so beautiful. It was so passionate and well executed that I was like, I need to learn how to do this. For highlighter, I am using Colourpop in the shade Smokin' Whistles. And then I didn't really like delve into it for a while. I still enjoyed watching videos on YouTube and on Facebook and whatnot of different pole dancers, and I still thought it was super, super cool, but I didn't really, you know, pursue it. But for my 21st birthday, my sister bought me a class for the 2 of us to take together as an intro to pole class, and I was so excited. And because like my sister moved out like right as my 21st birthday was coming around, we didn't go for a very long time. So my birthday's in April and we didn't go until like the very end of July. But I went with her and she ended up not going back with me, but I went back like the next week and then I bought a beginner's package and here I am. I'm using the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Potion Primer. I'm diving into my eyeshadow, so I'm going to use this color Tempera in the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette to set my primer. And Eva asks, what are you planning to do after you graduated except reading and filming? You mean there's more to do in life than reading and filming? Reading and filming is definitely like two of the main things on my to-do for the next 9 months. I recently applied to grad school. I'm waiting to hear back if I got in. So that will hopefully be like the next step in my education, but that wouldn't start until September. So I have a lot of months to fill. Reading and filming is a huge part of it. I definitely want to go to more book signings because for my last 2 years of college, I haven't been able to get to many book signings just because I would take night classes on Tuesdays and there's so many book events on Tuesdays in New York City. I'm now going to use these two shades, Raw Sienna and Warm Taupe mixed together. And yeah, just like hoping and praying I get into grad school. That's pretty much all I do these days. Anais is back and she asks, how many concerts did you go to and which were they? I have been to a lot of concerts. I don't think I could possibly name them all. If I tried, you know, all the money that I spend on books now used to go to concerts when I was in high school. I will happily say some of my favorites. I think my favorite concert of all time was Bass Nectar at Madison Square Garden. I went in 2015, I believe. It was literally one of the greatest nights of my life. I had the best time. And it was with Rusko, who is one of my all-time favorite artists. It was the best. I was so happy. I've also seen Datsik like 2 or 3 times in high school. Me and my friends, we went one weekend and then Datsik came back because that show sold out the next weekend. So we went the next weekend. That was a lot of fun. I also was at Swedish House Mafia's One Last Tour. That was a really, really amazing night. I was so happy I got to see them. I went to Izu, which is an electronic music festival. I went to Izu in like 2012, 2013, back when it was like an all ages festival, and I got to see people like Skrillex and Excision, and it was amazing. I don't know how many of you know the artists I'm talking about because I mostly go to electronic shows, but I did just buy counterfeit tickets for May, and I'm got VIP, so I'm meeting Jamie Campbell-Bower, and I'm dying inside. I cannot wait. Oh my goodness, I went to Mad Decent Block Party in 2015, and over those 2 days, I got to see Cashmere Cat and Trippy Turtle, and I got to see Jack U and Major Lazer. I saw Major Lazer and I want to die. That was a fantastic festival. For my eyelids, I'm going to use this color Primavera. Reggie asks, are you planning on staying in the New York area for grad school, or are you applying widely? Will you talk more about grad school process on your second channel? I actually hadn't thought about that because I've been so focused on like coming up with video ideas for undergrad psych. But a video on my grad school process would be very cool, though I probably won't make it unless I get into grad school. I am definitely staying in the New York area. I have no desire to move anywhere else at the moment, and I only applied to one school. And I will definitely consider making a video on like my grad school application process and what I had to do to get ready and to decide on a program and whatnot. Love Charlotte asks, your first book boyfriend or book crush? I have a guess. I think a lot of people would assume it's Jace because Jace is probably my biggest book boyfriend crush. But it's of course Harry Potter. I read Harry Potter first. I have been like having dreams about Harry and Draco fighting over me and me flying off on Harry's broom for like years, since I was like 10 years old. So Harry was definitely the first, and I'm still so in love with him to this day. I'm using the same combination of Raw Sienna and Warm Taupe for my under eyes. Shannon asks, how did I get into hoop dancing? Obviously, after listing a bunch of concerts I went to, the majority of them were electronic producers, and there is a huge crossover between the hooping community and the electronic dance community. So I would be at shows and I would see people with these light up hula hoops doing all these awesome tricks, and I was like, this is the coolest. And the way I really started is I went to CVS at like 11:30 at night one night, and I bought a $2 hoop and I drained it, taped it back up with electrical tape, and then I watched YouTube tutorials. Trinity asks, who are good artists to listen to while reading? For eyeliner, I use the Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner. I will answer this one first. I personally have a reading playlist that I don't always listen to when I'm reading, but when I'm in like a real big reading mood, I will put on. So I'll link that below if you guys are interested in checking out what I like to listen to. I personally love to listen to Pretty Lights, Odasia. I love to listen to Spangle. I have to pull it up because I don't remember. It's a really long playlist. There's like 75 songs on it. Yeah, there's a lot of Spangle, Pretty Lights, and Odasia. Oh, Thriftworks. I love listening to Thriftworks while I'm reading. Cashmere Cat, Hermitude. I like to listen to a lot of weird music. Like I said, I don't like to listen to music with lyrics while I'm reading, and I just find a lot of these artists have a really unique, interesting sound. There's just something about them that keeps my brain stimulated at like the right level to focus on reading, so I really, really love them. Charlie asks, if you were to write a book, what genre would it be? And I've always said I think I would at least start with a contemporary novel. I love fantasy. I think it is amazing, but I do not think I have the talent to write a fantasy novel or a science fiction novel or anything set in a different world at the moment. I think I would definitely start with a contemporary story, and if I feel inspired and I feel more capable, maybe delve into something else in the future. Paula asks, how has your feminism and mental health advocacy grown since you first started? And it has changed, I think, at least for the better. I would say in the time that I first learned about what feminism really is in about 7th or 8th grade to where I am now, I'd like to think that I have become more of an intersectional feminist, and I am more aware and educated on the issues of different types of women as opposed to just women in general. I remember the very first time I realized that my view of feminism was limited. It was a couple of years ago. There was like this viral video going around Facebook talking about the wage gap, and it showed the difference in how much less white women are paid in compared to men, but then how much less women of color are paid in regards to white women, like Hispanic women, Asian women, Black women, Native women. All of those populations are paid even less than white women are compared to men. So that was really the first experience when I realized that there are different issues that impact different women differently, and it's so important to recognize all of that and to fight for equality, not just between genders, but between different populations within the genders. And mental health advocacy has changed so much too. I mean, I now have a degree in psychology, so I'm so much more aware of mental health issues that don't just impact me as to what I've learned from experience. Especially my internship with the National Eating Disorders Association, I feel I learned how to tell my story better in a way that is more educational as opposed to triggering to some other people. I'd like to think that in the many years that I've been involved with these different movements, I have really refined what I want them to be, the type of feminist I want to be, the type of mental health advocate that I want to be. And I'm really pleased with where I'm at now, but I of course still have so much more to learn, and I'm super excited for that opportunity to grow in the future. I don't like my eyeliner today. For my upper waterline, I use the Marc Jacobs Gel Highliner Crayon. Vicky Prince asks, do you want to do reading vlogs in the future or save the vlogs for readathons? I love reading vlogs. I've had so much fun filming them for the last 2 bibliothons, especially this one, but I just don't read enough to make reading vlogs. Like, I know Helium Bookland does reading vlogs every single week, and I think that is so awesome and so cool, but I just don't feel like I read enough to be able to make like an interesting enough reading vlog every week. And I feel like if I did one a month, it would just be like too spread out and it wouldn't be as cohesive. So I think for now I might just keep it for readathons, and I do like doing vlogs for book signings. So that might be something that you want to check out if you enjoy my vlogs. I will hopefully be doing more book signing vlogs in the future, but right now I think I'm going to save it for readathons, and maybe I'll just participate in more because I have a little bit more free time now that I'm out of school. Moving on to mascara, I am using the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes Mascara. What is your biggest aspiration in life? Asks Clarissa Says More. And I always say, like, if anyone ever asks, like, what's your life goal? My response is always to make a difference in the world of mental health. I feel like that's my purpose. I feel like it's my calling. I feel like it's the reason that I'm here. And I really just want to feel like I've contributed to it. And I know it's like super vague and it can mean a lot of things. Like, I don't really have concrete specific goals yet because I'm not even at the point where I can really start to make a difference. But, you know, when I have my master's and I have my license that I can practice, you know, making a difference might just mean making a difference to one person, to one client. Or it might mean conducting research that is valuable and helping different populations. It might mean creating a program for specific areas of mental health and having that work and help people through recovery and treatment. And then, you know, I have like little goals for myself. Like, I of course want to get my master's degree, which is what I'm aiming for. I've considered getting my PhD in the future, but we'll have to see about that. But yeah, mostly my response is usually make a difference in the world of mental health and I definitely hope I can get there someday. Max asks, how has your progress in mental health been? I've heard your story and you are so strong. Thank you so much. I was just wondering what your healing process has been like because I'm trying to cope with my mental health as well. This is actually another video I'm planning on making for my mental health channel. I know I keep saying like, oh, I've been planning on making a video for that, and like I haven't delivered as much lately, but I'm trying really hard, guys. But yes, I have been wanting to do like a recovery update video that's just like honest and unfiltered about like where I am in recovery now and what it's been like. Right now, I'm not doing the best. I have been better. I've had a few setbacks and whatnot, but I do think I'm still doing really good. You know, I'm 6 years into recovery and there have been a lot of ups and downs because recovery is not linear and there's definitely a lot worse places that I've been in, but I'm managing. I did increase the level of recovery that I guess I engage with. I normally go to therapy, like individual counseling, once every 2 weeks, but I started going to a group at my treatment center, which is every week now. And group has been another world for me, but it's been really helpful and I love being able to interact with other people that are similar to my age and we've been through similar issues and just like talk in an honest and comfortable and safe environment. Also, pole dancing has really helped me in regards to my recovery as of late. So, you know, although like mentally I may not be doing the best 100% of the time, I have instilled a lot more coping strategies and things that are helpful towards my recovery than I have in the past. And I think that is a big marker for recovery sometimes. You know, it's not necessarily about having no thoughts whatsoever. It's also about having the things in place in the support system that you need to manage them. So, you know, while I've been struggling a little bit more with the thoughts as of lately, overall, I do think I'm still in a good place in recovery and I have everything I need to get through it. And I hope you are doing well as well. So yeah, hopefully I will be able to go more in depth about that on my psych channel very soon. That's another one that I'm planning on filming very soon, I swear. Now I'm going to do just like a quick final coat of mascara from the Stila Huge Extreme Lash Mascara. Renee asks, what tips do you have about maintaining a long-term relationship? If you did not know, I've been with my boyfriend Doug for almost 6 years now. Our anniversary is actually February 5th, so we're like very close to 6 years. And my advice may sound cliche, but I think it really does work, and in being with Doug for so long and having so many different experiences, I definitely stand by what I'm about to say. Be honest, don't keep secrets from each other, don't hide things. You know, if you're having issues, open up about them, talk about them, don't let them fester because you're just gonna get into a big blowout and it's gonna be so much greater than you need it to be over something small because you're going to be harboring all of these feelings. I definitely think that compromise is a huge part of a relationship. There are times where you do need to give a little bit in order to make things better for you and your partner, and I think a lot of times compromising might be better for you as well. I know a lot of the things that I've compromised on with Doug I feel have benefited me, not just him. So those are definitely my tips, but the biggest one is definitely be honest and talk about your problems. So the last thing I have to do is just my lipstick, and I'm going to be using the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in the color Exorcism. The final question that I'm going to be answering today is from Love Carrie, and she says, would you ever be interested in writing your own book? A lot of booktubers want to do that, and I can't ever recall hearing your viewpoint on it. If you watch my Instagram lives, you might hear me talk about this pretty frequently because I get asked this question a lot. Yes, I absolutely have considered writing a book. My first book idea probably started when I was about 17, and it was a dystopian, and then the next one came when I was maybe like 19, and I really wanted to write an adult thriller. And for now, I think I've really settled on an idea that's a young adult contemporary that I feel very passionately about, and although I haven't written anything about it, there's a lot that's already been developed in my head, and I just don't know how to write. I feel like I gotta teach myself how to write, and everyone's like, just write. And I'm like, no, I need to learn how. I just don't feel like I currently have the skills that I need to write a book, so I would like to work on those, and then maybe someday I will write a book and hopefully get it published. So yes, it is definitely something that I am in the process of considering. I would like to work on in the future, but it's not something I'm rushing into because I just really want to make sure it's something that I'm capable of and I'm going to feel good about. Last but not least is setting spray, and I always use the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. So that really concludes this Get Ready With Me Q&A. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all of your amazing questions. I know I absolutely did not get to all of them, but there were just so many great ones. If you would like more Get Ready With Me Q&As in the future, definitely let me know in the comments below. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon for a new one. Bye!